Well, I think it's going to be a good series because you can never write the Australians off. I've never seen a bad Australian side, but if I got to put my head on the block, I'd go for England victory. I think they'll win the Ashes. I do, honestly. My favourite Ashes ground, without a shadow of doubt, is Lord's. Lord's was very, very special to me. It was my second home. It is the home of legends. It is steeped in so much history. To walk through those gates, at the Grace Gates at Lord's, my chest used to ooze out. I always thought, this is marvellous. What a wonderful job I'm in. I played there as a player. I played county cricket there. And also I umpired so many test matches and so many Ashes series at Lord's. And Lord's to me will always be very, very special. But if I had to select one, I would go for Dennis Lillee of Australia. To me, he was a tremendous competitor, match winner, and a great bloke. Wonderful, wonderful man. Mike Dennis was the captain of England, and I remember if it was yesterday, and bless his soul, he's dead and gone. Wonderful man, Mike Dennis, wonderful man. I can remember it if it was yesterday. He won the toss and put the Australians in at Edgbaston. Now then, the test match pitches in those days were left to the elements. Once we started the test, it was just left to the elements, the rains. So he inserted the Australians, and the Australians scored well over 300, nearly 400. And John Edrich was fielding at the side of me at square leg when the last Australian wicket fell. And the heavens opened, and John Edrich said to me, "We're going to get caught here on a sticky pitch." And I said, "I'm afraid you are, John." And the heavens opened. This was just after lunch. This was just before lunch. And we didn't start play until 4:45, I think, 4 o'clock. We mopped up, the ground staff worked hard to get the moisture, the water off Edgbaston, which was just a lake. And the Aussies came out onto the field. And I remember saying to Dennis Lillee, as he handed me his sweaters to open the ball in from my end, uncovered pitch, left to all these elements, there's all this rain. And he handed me his sweater, and I said, in a jokingly, I said, "Anything can happen on this pitch, Dennis, you know." I said, you're joking, mate, you know. I said, "You wait and see, anything could happen." And at 6, we finished at 6:30 in those days, and we started at 4 o'clock. At 6:30, England was 69 for 9. Lillee, you could check these scores, I'm not individual performance. Lillee 6 for 12. A magnificent piece of fast bowling. Lillee at one end and Jeff Thompson at the other end. What an attack on an uncovered pitch. And I always remember that. I think that goes down as probably, yeah, amazing, amazing. The best batting performance, now I'm going to surprise everybody here and shock everybody, it was in that match. On this uncovered pitch, where the ball was going all over the place from Lillee and Thompson. As I say, England was 69 for 9 at the close of play. John Edrich scored 38 or 37, you can check the scores, and Lillee got him LBW. 30 odd. That was one of the finest test knocks I've ever seen, and he only got 37 or 38 runs. Talk about guts, by God, the gutsy player, John Edrich, gutsy player. My best bowling performance, there's two men involved here. One is Dennis Lilly of Australia and the other Ian Botham. Dennis Lilly's performance at Edgbaston when England was 69 for 9 at the close of play was magnificent. 6 for 12 or 6 for 14, I don't know, and it was just out of this world. I've never seen a piece of fast bowling like it. And the other one was Ian Botham at Edgbaston when Australia, again, you can correct me, correct the scores, England and Australia at Edgbaston. The Australians needed, I think they were 129 for 3, needing 130 odd, 140 odd to win. I'm not quite sure of the scores. And it looked as if it looked an impossibility for England to win it, because they didn't want many runs to win. They'd all those wickets left, 7 wickets left or whatever it was, to get those few runs. And I remember Mike Brearley was stood aside of me, the England captain, and he said to me, "What do you think, Dickie?" I said, "Well, I think you've had it, skipper." He said, "I think you're right." But he said, "Anyway, I'm going to bring Botham on at the City End." I said, "Are you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "See what he's got." Well, I said, "Well, I should toss them up. And they knock, they'll knock them off quickly. Because it looks a certain Australian victory. Toss them up, we don't be up that motorway." He said, "No, I'm bringing bring both on at this City End." And he came on at the City End. He reeled his sweaters off, and it took 5 wickets for 1 run to win the Test match. I think the Shane Warne delivery to Gatting at Old Trafford, Manchester. He bowled it from, I was the umpire, he bowled it from my end. And it pitched, it was Shane Warne's first Test match in England. And it pitched just outside of Gatting's leg stump. It turned and bounced and hit the top of the off stump. It was a magnificent delivery. And I remember saying to Shane Warne, he's never forgot this, Shane. I said, "Young man, you will put your name in the record books." And by God, I've been proved right. But that moment was a moment in Test match history. Tremendous moment. I think if I had to pick my choice of the two, which was I'd go for Shane Warne's dance with a stump at Sembridge. I think that it was funny actually when he did it. And so we've held the book up.